Welcome, fans of the exquisite little clean / break-up-y / pedal platform heads. My name is Henning Pauli. You found your way to my channel. Please like and subscribe as one does on the YouTube to support your favorite creators, which I don't know if I am. Where were we? Oh, Revv D20. Revv has these lunchbox heads, usually metal. Metal as in they were in metal cases, like a lunchboxy kind of metal chassis. And lately they also offered the D20 and the G20 in wooden chassis, which is kind of nice, and custom Tolex and all that stuff. And the D20 has become one of the go-to very fine pedal platform heads. It's a clean amp. That's really what it is, nothing else. But it's a perfect pedal platform because it also has a DI out, 2 notes operated. So it's got a torpedo DI out where you can craft your sounds in an app and go direct. It was about time to take what they've learned from their D25 combo, which was an evolution of the D20, and put it into the head. And now we have the D20 Mark II, technically. It's called the Dynamis D20, but D always stood for Dynamis, so I don't quite know where the 2 is, but I know this is a 2. I did get mine custom made because I really wanted it to match the shit I had. So my D40, which is a phenomenal amp, right there, look at it. That's got the white, what's that Tolex called? Western Tolex, and then the blue front on this cap, absolutely amazing. That amp, by the way, really is one of the favorite heads by the Huffster. Some guy in Nashville, plays guitar well. He likes that amp. Hofmeister. Mr. von Hofhausen. I wanted it to match, so I've got the blue Western with the white Western front. I freaking love it. Went with the white panel and clear knobs. On this I went with the black knobs. Clear knobs are so much better. Damn, I love this. Let's see how it just arrived. So as you can see, you're getting the full spiel, as they say. You're getting a beautiful protective hood. The D20 and G20 came in carry cases, padded cases with bags on them for cables and stuff. Well, we can't do that anymore because this is a little bit bigger and it's got a non-tuck-away handle. So it comes with a protective hood. Comes beautifully packaged. There's a foot switch, which we have on the floor right there. Yep, that's for boost and reverb, which are 2 new things. USB cable, power cable. Mine came with an American one, but we'll forgive that. And a beautiful certificate of authenticity and some stickers. I did not consider that this is orange right here, which really doesn't match the amp, but that's my fault. It's actually way more orange than you can see in the camera there. It's very orange. But orange and blue, they are complementary colors. Look up what that is. Because I did not have the most time in the world, I did a handheld little product shot thing, and here are some sounds. took it into the office and immediately started to play around with some sounds on top of elevated jam tracks by my good friend Tom James, who uses a D20 for most of what he does. So maybe he's using a D20 too now. All the sounds you're hearing straight out of the amp, XLR into the DAW, reverb coming from it, no drive or anything used with it, which is really the idea, but then I'd have to tell you what drive I use. It doesn't make sense. What you're hearing is the amp. So if you're not familiar with the D20, let's go through the front panel, the back panel, then we'll get some sounds and then we go home. I mean, I am already home, but you know what I mean. We have an input, of course, sure. Gain, which is when you're in the cleaner side, really more the thickness of your sound. And what has been improved here is the headroom. For me, the D20 never had enough headroom. When you cranked up the gain to get the sound nice and meaty, which you want for pedals, you don't want a thin sound, you want a thick sound, then it was already driving a bit. This has been remedied. If you do want drive, you can click in the boost, which you can also select with the foot switch. Then we have a 3-band EQ, which is treble, mid, bass, which is weird because it should be bass, middle, treble. In my world, that makes way more sense because that's how a frequency response curve graph looks like. But okay, be like that, Revv people. Then we have the bright switch. You can see that is in because the amp is on the rounder, warmer, darker side. But that's why you have the bright switch. Also, these switches have been upgraded or changed because they were little pushy switches that had lights in them, which is neat and modern, but this is a good old-fashioned analog manly man switch. Pre-post determines where the DI out goes out. Right after the preamp, or does it include the power amp section? Because I want to include the power amp section, I always have that on post. Then of course we have volume. You can see it's at 9 o'clock because it does get quite loud in the room here. And then we've got the reverb, which is new, because for something like this, you want a reverb. Why didn't they put that in the first one? Well, here we got it, and it's actually a decent reverb, and of course it's a digital one. Staying with the digital side, we have a tiny little headphone out. You can run this without a cab and actually just noodle around at home with headphones. That's killer. The level is here. That's also the level that comes out of the XLR out in the back. And then we got 6 presets, which we are going to play later. They are curated by Sean Tops, who knows his shit. And preset 1, 3, and 5 are 3 different cabs. And 2, 4, and 6 are the same cab as 1, 3, and 5, but with some reverb on it digitally from the torpedo side. In the back, We have, of course, IEC, fuse, the cabinet lighting, which you don't really see here because the cab actually lights up. Do we have a top cam, Leslie? Yeah, I think we do. Right there, you can see the cab lights up in the same color as this, but because we only have one, oh, there you go. But because we only have one channel, the cab doesn't really change. But it lights up in that color. That's neat. So cab lighting, that cable comes with the cab, I think. We got MIDI in, so you can actually change your cab sounds and all that stuff. I don't know if you can change boost and bright, but you can definitely change the cabs. 6 presets is way more than you should ever use. But that's just me. USB, bias point, ground lift, XLR out. We're not actually using it in this room, so I don't know why I plugged that in. We have the foot switch, very long cable is included. Effects loop, we have a TC2290P in the effects loop. You can switch it from 20 watt to 4 watt, if you can read that there. So 4 watt is still pretty loud for at home, but if you wanted to drive in the power amp a little bit sooner, you can do that. You can switch it from 8 to 4 ohm. I don't know what you do when you're running 16. You might be shit out of luck, or maybe just stay on 8 and ask them if it's okay. I have no idea. Speaker out, and right here you can switch it to internal load, then you don't need a speaker, right? And then you can put it on the desk like I did in the Noodle Track and use it directly to go into your DAW with a very, very fine boutique-y tube amp. And that's what it is. The sounds are as good as they get. Clocking in at about $13.50 in euro, who knows. So it's not bargain basement cheap, right? You're getting a 1-channel amp, but you're getting very, very fine sounds, especially when it comes to the pedal world. All that being said, I'm going to tell you the setup. Shabbat links. There's no Shabbat rechts. Second time I make the horrible joke. It's an absolutely amazing guitar by my friend Avi Shabbat. Thank you for that. Going through the pedal board, as far as drives go, we got a Tube Screamer on there and a Brothers AM, which is, of course, a King of Tone thing. And the Galaxy for some reverb and delay, which we might not need because we got a reverb in the amp. It's going into the Revv. In the effects loop, we got the 2290p on the floor there. If I want to drive with the actual amp, when I'm boosting it, I might need that for some delay because that'll be behind the drive. The cab is a 212 something Revv cab. It's got, I think, creambacks in it, if I'm not mistaken. I might be, I don't know. It's got speakers, it sounds good. Also, it's super pretty. Look at it. I picked the sweater to match. Actually, Leslie picked the sweater to match. We're miking with the Sennheiser MD421 Compact alongside an AEA N22, which is 121-ish. So it's a beautiful ribbon mic. And about 1.20 meters away, we have a Nuvo N28, which is an absolutely amazing stereo ribbon, really adding the room to everything. So this is the most truthful replication of what it would sound like in the room, maybe. So many variables, very difficult. Okay, cleans. Here we go. Reverb off. You gotta hit the strings too. So you can hear it is drastically round and warm, which makes it a great bass for pedals. Sometimes when there's too much treble, it might be too much for the pedals. That amp doesn't have that problem, but you can, of course, get the brightness in there. It's got a treble knob and also the bright switch. So for cleans, for me, that wouldn't be enough. Let's kick in the Galaxy. Compare that to the built-in reverb. Clean sound. Even more meat. Definitely now breaking up a bit. But around here, really none. So I would prefer it with the bright in. You can hear that top end coming in. What? Okay, that was DHL Express delivering another one of those for the booth in Mannheim, which I have to drag there now. Frickin' Revv people. Okay, it was lost, now it's found. It was lost, now it's found. Where was I? Got no compression or anything with the compressor, of course. Different cleans. But this is nice cleanage. It sings. That's what it's supposed to do. I'm gonna keep the bright in. Let's see how much more brightness we can get. Almost voxatious. Mid. Gets a bit more body, but not necessarily the big mid honk. Yeah, you can thin out the sound if you need to. Not woofy, that's nice. So, not the most drastic EQ, but you can tailor it to what you need. Let's go back to not bright. And kick in the brothers, which we got here. That's where I want to go. What the? That's what Now that works rather nice. I don't even know if we need the bright there. See, that's why you don't always need the bright on. That's a bit much now. See, we gotta do this and we're good. Now with the right pedal, yeah, you can probably meddle. With the pedal, you can meddle Songsmith, and also then pick a different kind of cab, and Bob's your uncle. I'm not gonna go and try to meddle with an amp that looks like that. That would be stupid. Let's go for the Tube Screamer. Now that's sweet. Whoa, this is beautifully dial-inable. That should be a word. Wow! I mean, I kicked the bright, little bit more gain, and all of a sudden that thing jumps out. It does this, if you know what I mean. And every attack is beautifully there. Of course, he can also do it without the, reverb. That is very, very pleasurable to play. I'm going to kick in the boost, but I'm going to click it in here so you can see it. And now we're here. Super dynamic. I mean, we're talking about spanky cleans right now, right? But humbucker. Pretty impressive. How far can that go? Careful with the volume now. Let's go, Tube Screamer. I could play that shit all fucking day long. Holy crapola, that is... If we put the brothers in front of it, oh god. It's also kicking a delay from the 2290 simply because I haven't used it yet. And you might notice I don't have the bright in because in this situation it's totally fine. Everything added together gives me way more than enough brightness. Without the built-in reverb. Holy hell, the sounds, it's tough to hear probably because it's just scratchy guitar sounds. But under your fingers you can feel the harmonic content focusing on certain overtones. I mean, that sounds stupid. But then, you know, like just trying to sing and scream, and how the separation between the strings is there. How when you're doing the palm muting, everything is clear. It might be small, she said. It might be 20 watts. It might be almost $1,500 depending on where you buy it or whatever, you know, $1,350 in, I mean, it's probably gonna be around, I don't know. So it's not your bargain basement 20 watt amp, but the quality of tone is absolutely justified when it comes to the price point. Let's go to the pièce de résistance, which is the built-in 2-notes torpedo. So you can actually go DI with any cab you desire, because I by now have every single cab in the world. It does not have Bluetooth, so you're gonna have to hook it up with the included USB cable to a computer, program your 6 sounds, and then probably never go there again unless you're one of those people that loves to fiddle around with cabs. So here are the 6 included sounds. Okay, what do I think? Well, it's tough to say because I'm friends with Revv. Wow! It's tough to say because I'm friends with Revv, you're gonna say, but if you've actually seen my original D20 video, I bitched about the headroom or lack thereof quite a bit. And they weren't mad. If I have something that I think needs a criticism, I will say it, no matter how good I am befriended with them. That's not how you say that. Headroom's been fixed. Much easier to dial in those thick cleans. Edge of breakup to really get the tube screamer to kick, and then kick in the boost for a great overdrive sound, which you can easily push into killer leads. The bright switch, I want it for the cleans, but then for the drive stuff, no, get it down. Obviously, you can put this on the table, never connect a cab. It's pretty damn impressive. Now, as I said it several times, is it the cheapest 20-watt head on the market with IR? No, there are others, and they might be more affordable. But the quality of tone, and I can only speak from what I just experienced, that's in here is of the highest quality. That's how you say that. I'll put links below. Please use them. Like and subscribe to the channel. That's what you do on YouTube. And I'll put animals at the end as always.